Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about same-sex marriage, which is mostly a question of value. Um, I'm going to be obviously speaking for same-sex marriage, um, just to kind of give you a brief overview of why I think that same-sex marriage should be a basic civil right and a federal law in this country. Um, a little history on it. And last year, uh, Gallup did a poll which found that 60% of the nation, of the people who polled, um, felt that homosexuality was an acceptable lifestyle, which is up about 17% from when it originally did the study back in 1977. Um, which I mean is an increase, but it still shows that there's 40% of the nation that does not think that homosexuality is acceptable, or that it's a choice, or whatever wrong things they think about it. Back in Clinton's administration, he signed into law the Defense of Marriage Act, or how it's commonly known as DOMA. This basically granted the states rights. Their allowed the states to choose how they wanted to deal with same-sex marriage. It took the federal level out of it. Um, During George W. Bush's presidency, he tried twice to add a constitutional amendment uh, banning all same-sex marriage and putting it in the Constitution that marriage was between one man and one woman. Fortunately, that was stricken down. 6 states so far have passed same-sex marriage, full same-sex marriage rights. They are Massachusetts was the first in 2004, and then in Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Iowa, Washington D.C., and most recently in 2011 was the state of New York, which passed in June, went into effect in July. The main grounds for passing all of those laws was all those 6 states felt that it was a guaranteed civil right that could not be denied to anyone. In 2008, California passed same-sex marriage, and then later put it up to a popular vote, which it then failed. They did allow the couples who got married during the time in between when it passed and when it got struck down to keep their marriages, but that is still in litigation, and there is still no same-sex marriage in California, which kind of just brings it to just a question of why that would fail, the amount of money that was spent trying to get that to pass, and for the people who tried to get it to fail, equaled about $80 million, which could have been spent in so many other ways, so many better ways. Most of that money, at least from the opposing side, was raised by churches, which are supposed to be a charitable organization, in which case that money was grossly misdirected at denying people rights. I mean, like I said, the money could be spent in so many better ways than denying someone the right to marry their spouse. It mirrors, sort of mirrors the civil rights law that was in 1964, which was passed by Congress and then signed into law by President Johnson. Had that gone to a popular vote like in California, it probably wouldn't have passed. You kind of have to see it as look to the government to set the example for the people in cases like that. There's plenty of people who like to keep things just the way they are, and that isn't always the right thing to do. In order for us to move forward as a society, We need to stop discriminating against a small minority of the population. There's no way that the gay community can pass a law all by itself. It needs the support of the straight community. I mean, the gay community makes up less than 10% of the population. So we do need straight allies in the community. A lot of people will say that if you allow gays to marry, it'll ruin the sanctity of marriage, which I think with a 50% divorce rate among marriages right now, I think that the straight community has done that all by themselves. A lot of people bring in the fact that they don't think that gay couples can adopt or have the right to adopt. But with most marriages ending in divorce, the fact of the matter is that most kids grow up with either a single parent or in a situation where both parents aren't at home. There are many studies that show that same-sex couples have the same capacity to raise a child that straight couples do, sometimes even better than straight couples. The far right tries to throw the religion aspect into it, which I mean, but the fact of the matter is that a federal amendment to marriage has nothing to do with religion. When you get married, it doesn't. There is nothing about anything about religion stated in there on the marriage certificate. It's just mostly for the spousal rights and tax purposes, like finances and that kind of thing. I mean, the government has no interest in knowing your religion or how that affects marriage. And it's mostly, as well as just a moral issue. Denying people a civil right is wrong, and I mean, history will show that being on the side against same-sex marriage is the wrong and immoral side to be on. There's no reason why two people who love each other can't get married. So in conclusion, I really hope that this has kind of opened your eyes to the possibility of same-sex marriage, and